How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity Evolved. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. If you guys have, hope you guys leave a like down below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, definitely leave those in the comment section. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Now let's get into today's episode right now. So, in between episodes, I went ahead and we mined out some kind of more of this area just to get a concept going. So I think here's where we're going to put the elevator. I would like to maybe change some of this glass to something else, or maybe I'll just leave it and we'll stick the elevator in the middle. And then this area will be open, and then so down here we'll dig the rooms on the sides, and then we might even dig back that way some as well, just depending on kind of our needs. But I did want to kind of take a break from mining, and in an effort to try to move towards a quarry, which if we look back at what we need, we can either do the Ender quarry or the Buildcraft quarry. Now, the only real difference between the two is whether we want to go for a diamond or an emerald. Now, the emeralds aren't impossible. I was able to acquire one from a villager, and diamonds we have plenty of. Remember, there was just a lot of crafts we would have to do. We do want to get the laser at some point because there are some ores that don't spawn that we are going to have to use a laser for. They might spawn in the mining dimension, but I'm not sure because it doesn't show it. Um, yeah, and there's just a lot of machines we're going to need to get the quarry. But before we do that, we're going to do kind of the poor man's quarry of using an ender chest to basically dump all of our stuff. And then we'll kind of have an automated connection to all of our current storage. Now we need to get Eyes of Ender. That's not too hard. When you have the Ender Pearls, we just need to get Blaze Powder, and that's not too terribly difficult to gather. And then the other part was the machine frame, which this is going to be the hardest part. Currently, we don't really have anything hooked up. All our machines are still put away. So we're going to have to kind of unpack some things, mainly the assembly table, because as you can see, this is going to require quite a lot of RF. So we are going to probably want to try to get our boiler going. Oh, we misclicked. All right. The emerald chipset isn't too bad. Redstone emerald, we're able to get that. We need to get the crushed obsidian. So basically we need to hook enough of our old machines back up in order to get the remaining parts. I did get the enderium. We got the gear and we have the nugget. We do need to set a few of the components up, and I'm gonna get the boiler recharging and kind of get the steam going on it, and then we'll probably come back with probably once this is good. So I will be right back once this hopefully is powered up, and then in the meantime, while I'm waiting for it to charge, I'm going to set some of the machines up we need. Probably not in a permanent spot, just a temporary to get the ender chest, and then I'll be right back. So I'll see you here in a second. And we're back. So I just came down from my corner where I stay safe. Ow! Gotta continue torching things up. But for now, my safety corner. So, we basically just set up kind of our slapdash production corner for now. Right now we're working on getting the emerald chipset, and then we'll plug that back in and we'll work on the resonant machine frame. The boiler has finally heated up, so now it's starting to produce steam, and although it is eating a lot of charcoal, it is being replaced pretty quickly thanks to all of our furnaces here, and this is our tree farms now getting power again. We need to restock fertilizer. And so the turbine here is turning. I can't remember if we talked about the rotors, but they do have a durability, so that is one thing to kind of keep in mind if you're using this as a power source, is these will eventually run down. And so if your power ever just stops, it's probably this ran out. And if you don't have it set up to replace, well, your power stops. It is important to note that they do last quite a while, so you don't have to worry too much. But if we look over here, our system for outputting the power into RF seems to be working. So this outputs EU. And then from here, we take it and we put it into an MV capacitor, and then we put the capacitor back into the leadstone energy cell. And then and then you can see here the numbers ticking up and down. That's because we have a drain over there, and well, the main drain on the power grid right now is this. This is absorbing all the energy we can and putting it into this. So right now we are eating at about 100 RF a tick, which is quite good. That amount should increase as the more steam gets produced. I'm not sure if there is a fixed rate of consumption on the steam turbine or not. I can't remember. I believe it is not fixed. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this output number, if it was 100%, it would be outputting much more. So as this heats up, more and more steam is going to get produced. I think we can actually add more flux duct. Or fluid duct, not flux duct. This is flux duct. This is fluid duct. I think, yeah, I think we need to add more fluid ducts to increase our output for power. So we'll take a look into that later. Yeah, so we're gonna keep pouring power into the emerald chipset, and then we'll get the resonant. Well, another thing I did want to kind of take a look at is how we're gonna plug in the ender chest once we're ready. Now I did, oh, and side note, this is just where I plugged in these machines. So behind each of these, there's a space. Well, I didn't mine out the space behind the drawers because we only need access to the drawer controller. So we can plug let's put that there for now. We could plug, where is it? It's the thing from extra utility. So we could put a transfer node on top of the ender chest and basically push out whatever the items are into all this. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I don't know, is it going to try to fill all the drawers in this, or is it going to scan both inventories first, and if there is nowhere, put it into a new spot? I'm not entirely sure. Now, certain items I want on the barrel side, certain items I want in the drawer. For instance, things that we're going to have clearly more than 8 stacks of, such as cobble, dirt, granite, diorite, stuff like that. But then things where, you know, maybe not going to have that many stacks of, say, I don't know, earth shards. Well, we're probably not going to have a full barrel full. But perhaps, I don't know, perhaps the amber, we will, right? So I'm not sure how that's going to work when we go to plug everything up. We do have to move these items here, and we also have to finish moving these items as well. Over. I don't know. We'll have to use more of extra utilities. But I know in order to get some of the more advanced things, we do want to make a QED, which coincidentally also needs another resonant ender frame, which it's not fun because that just means we have to go ahead and make a second one of the thing we're making right now. But hey, if we can make one now, we can make another one. So we will eventually look at getting a second one of these put together. So we need to get more obsidian to make, what the hell, obsidian 49? Is that something? I think it's just generic. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, yeah. So we just need a lot of obsidian and some eyes of ender to get all this. Alright, so the QED is going to be a little bit further than I was hoping. I don't think we're going to get that this episode. That's going to be a little bit more than what I can do today. Oh yeah. We might have done an oopsie with some of the ender stuff. We need more shiny metal, but the shiny metal we get from nickel, which in this it's called ferrous. And we put it in a pulverizer. The ferrous ore. Let's go check back on our thing and see how well. Hey, there we go. And so it begins. Well, I will come back when we get maybe a little closer to 50 million. I'll see what else we can kind of cook up in this episode. I'll be right back. How's it going, guys? So, went ahead and finished getting the machine frame, the resonant one. That took a lot longer than expected, because I didn't realize. So a few things. Number one, 50 million RF is a lot more than I was expecting. I will have you know that the reason the episode didn't come out on Monday and is now coming out today on Tuesday is primarily because, one, I was halfway through recording and I realized that it was going to be literally 2 or more hours of me waiting for these 6 to basically produce enough RF for us to get the resonant machine frame. And I also came down with a raging headache for no reason in the middle of recording, and I don't know why. So I ended up having to stop the recording there and basically go to bed while I waited for this to craft. While I was waiting for it to craft, we did a few things. Number one, we connected up the main base to our tunnel from the actual base, so I don't have to go outside and go down the weird hole. Second thing I did is I mined out our room here, where this will be our new laser room. This is something we will talk about more in depth, probably next episode, and focus on that. We might get into it this episode, we'll see. But today is going to be finishing off getting our ender chest. In order to do that, we need to craft ender tank frames. So we just need to plop it in here, and we get some ender tank frames. Next, we need to craft some iron chests, which we're going to just take some iron plate. Go like so. Get ourselves some iron plate. Go like that. Do a thing with this. Go like that. Like that. And we now have an ender chest. Awesome. So with our ender chest, for those of you who've played vanilla Minecraft, and quite honestly, I hope you have if you've started watching this series. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you haven't seen any Minecraft, and this is the first Minecraft you've seen. And if that's the case, all the ender chest does is it basically links to an ender bag, which we will have to go ahead and make. As for our wall of goodies, for now what I'm going to do is probably just connect a few things here. Like so. I do want to put a torchy torch. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to put ender chest like that. And we need a transfer node, which I thought we had. So from extra util, there are transfer nodes for items and liquids, and then there's retrieval nodes. Retrieval nodes and transfer nodes, basically kind of as their names imply. Really, if you're confused as to which one does what, the retrieval one basically gives it away. The retrieval node retrieves it. Takes items or requests items. The transfer node, as its name suggests, transfers items, but that could be a little bit confusing if you're unsure of kind of the flow, right, or the direction. So one way it transfers is it pulls out. There are other upgrades we can get for it, and we'll look into that too. These are some of the other modded things, but these are all items from extra utilities. So we can say, look at redstone clock, which I use quite frequently. These ender pumps are amazing from extra utilities. Okay. What do we need to make one? Because I don't know if I see one. Do you see where it is? Because I don't. I mean, I'll find... Let's see. Is it over here? Okay. I'm sure I've already looked at the chest that it's in. If I have, you will probably let me know down below, right? Right? Because I don't currently see it. Oh, there it is. Cool. Now let's grab a little bit of transfer pipe. And if you can, you probably hear my cat meowing in the background. If you don't, well, that's good. He's very angry at me because I'm not letting him out because I'm in the middle of recording, and I told him that he could have left prior to recording and that he would have to stay here for the rest of it. And now he's being a very talkative kitty, as the life goes. All right, so basically now we need to get ourselves an ender bag. So if we go ahead and say put cobble in here, cobble leaves, and in theory, yep. So it's gonna look for open spots. Well, that's good, but we don't want it to go here. We want it to go to these ones, which have room, right? So the question is, okay, well then how do we tell it don't go here and here, but go to the, not necessarily the first available, but go to the proper one. So one way we can do this is we can put an item, say, like that. So we can put, say, all of our ore in here. So if we go like this. So if we go ahead and put all of our ore in different chunks like this, what this will do is this will reserve those spaces and basically tell it, hey, there's nowhere else for this to go. But hey, it can stack in this barrel. And so in theory, it should only ever go to these that it can actually fit in. So if we go like that with diamonds, redstone, lapis. Let's see, anything else we're going to be mining that we might get a bunch of? Yes, the selectine. Coal, I know we're going to get a lot of coal. I think that's it. I know some of these other ones we're probably going to get. But basically, we'll do something like that, and then as we mine these, we'll fill up, and eventually we'll fix it and adjust it so each of these has its own item, and some things will stack properly. But we are going to need an overflow chest, right? So the way this works, we kind of saw that here. So it's going to scan to this. So it works similar to an array, right? And that's the same way that, I didn't mean to click that, same way the drawer controller works, is it scans in a certain particular path. So the way the ender chest works in conjunction with the extra utilities, mainly it's the extra utilities doing this, is it scans this, says nope, can't go here. Scans this one, says nope, can't go here. Scans this one and said, okay, there was room, and that's why the cobble went here first, and then it goes here, and then it goes here. So it continues scanning as it's pumping in items. So if an item doesn't get a chance to go in here, even though cobble, which was in this one, could have gone here, it bypassed it, and there was still some flowing, and then it doesn't go loop back around. It starts back at the bottom and goes back up, and that's why the cobble showed up at this bottom one. So basically it's going to do that all the way down, and so one might think, okay, well, let's put our cobble. So if we go like this, we can put things that it should fill up on first here, and then things it's not going to fill up on, such as these bricks, which are only ever going to be here because we put them here, and say dirt, which will be the other big proponent, over, right? And so then we can kind of pick and choose what it's going to prioritize first. And so that's just kind of a few things that we can do to help speed it up. And then one major thing we want to look at is putting in, I think these are exterior walls. And we'll go like this. One, oh geez, well, I don't know why it's giving me a little hiccup there. So what we can do is we can actually put an overflow on some chests. So, for instance, okay, so say we did a bunch of mining, and we got some items that don't go in any of these barrels, and they're all full. Well, now they're going to go here into these chests. And then, yeah, we don't have the mod that lets the chest open when there's a full block above them. However, we can get, there's some other, if we use the other chest, I believe we can. There's a way we can do it, I just forget. To where we don't have to have that open air block space. So yeah, so now we need to go ahead and get ourselves an ender bag. It is important to note that if you leave it on the code white, it is universal. It's open to everybody. And one way you can prevent that is you can put a diamond on the lock. And what that does is it links it to the player. So even though the code is the same, it linked it to the player. So for this, we need 3 leather, wool, 1 ender, and 4 blaze powder. So we have some of that. Maybe. So there's the 4 blaze powder. We have the ender pearl on us. We need 1 wool. I can't remember where we put the wool. We put it somewhere. And I know we grabbed more leather. So I was like, oh, you know, we might need leather. So we'll grab the ender pearl. We need 1. Okay. 3 leather. And we need 1 wool. Perfect. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Just looking at the recipe. I think it was that. Yep. Awesome. So now if we go ahead. Oh, no, yes, we don't need these ender tank. So now we can say put, let's say that. Cool. So we just got done with mining. We want to dump all this in. Well, we can chuck it into this pouch, and then it will slowly pull it away. And what's happening there is it's pulling into these. And you can see right here that the number's going up, indicating, hey, resources are going in, and our pouch is working. So we will have to go ahead and change a few things about how the system works. But for now, it's going to do pretty much what we need it to do. We can now go mining almost indefinitely. We will have to bring some repair. Either their sharpening kits for the hammer. I believe that's... Is that in this pack? Are the sharpening kits? I have been playing another pack with my friends. I've been playing Pixelmon, so I have not... No, sharpening kits are not in this. Okay. Basically, sharpening kits are in some versions of Tinkers, where it basically allows you to, for the price of 2 ingots, it fully repairs your tool. So it's very broken. Otherwise, you have to use the material that the head is made out of, and you can slowly repair it for that. So basically, if we carry a crafting table and some iron on us, we'll be able to keep our hammer going indefinitely and pretty much can keep mining. There are some things we want to note. There are ways we can increase the outtake of the transfer node here. So if we look at a stack upgrade, it will start taking out whole stacks. We can also do speed upgrades, so it will basically check to pull items out much faster. But as you can see, there are a few problems, such as it doesn't immediately put it into the spots it should. And so one thing we might try to do is fill up all the blank ones with, say, cobble, just a little bit of cobble, and then have everything that doesn't already have a spot go to output. And then when we come back from our trip, kind of fill up the barrels that obviously have a lot of an item, and then the things that don't, we can put over in our drawers, and we'll figure it out that way. But I'll do all that in between episodes while I do some mining and kind of get the system fine-tuned and tweaked. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, questions, or concerns for me, definitely leave that down below. My cat says hi. And if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up on the video if you guys enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. It really helps out the channel, guys. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.